I'm not actually Rick Beato, and this is not episode 117 of his incredible YouTube series, What Makes This Song Great, because it's completely different. It's not as good. But I am a songwriter in a band called JaggN, and if you give me a little bit of your time, I can show you why our fourth single, Far Side, is an incredible piece of indie rock music and why I believe we're making some of the best new music out there right now. You see, Far Side was a little different, considering our song that we released right before this went something like this. And the song we released before that one was something like this. We never experimented with writing a real song that was filled with emotion and was beautiful. We were used to writing about pigs, potholes, and Red 40 and killing people. There was no big band meeting where we decided we were gonna make our music real and emotional. Instead, we wanted to record 4 songs, and Far Side just happened to be the 4th one that was ready to go. It was recorded on March 15th, 2024 and released 2.5 months later on May 31st, 2024, recorded and produced by Frank Perez and me, Reese Daniels, Giovanni Alonso, and Justin Siegel, me being on bass, Justin on guitar, and Gio on drums and vocals. This song is our most popular song, and without further ado, let's jump into Far Side. And the thing about Far Side that I really want to hammer in is there's this beautiful verse chord progression, which is a simple 1 to 3 progression. Far Side is in the key of E major, and we are in a drop C sharp tuning. The verse chord progression consists of this E sus2 chord. So we have the 1st, the 5th, and the 2nd. And then that slides to the 3rd of the progression, an A flat sus2. But it doesn't stay on that sus2 for long. It's actually going to immediately hammer onto the minor 3rd, making it an A flat minor chord. That chord right there is so heartbreaking to me. I imagine as if you see your crush and she doesn't like you back because you're like me and all you do is record YouTube videos and make music. And you see her, so you're already a little sad. That sus2 chord. But then that hammer on really is like your heart is dropping. She's kissing some other dude and it's like, ouch. So that's gonna go like this. E sus2. Absolutely heartbreaking. Well, with that being said, this is the progression that's going to be in around half of the song. Let's jump into Far Side. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to play a section of the song, we're going to listen to it, I might say a few things, and then I'm going to pause it, and we're going to discover what the hell is going on. So let's start Far Side. It's E major 7, it's F sharp 5, arpeggios, acoustic guitar, playing the chords, wing sync, bass, phaser, and then the verse progression. Little drop hits, wash. So immediately off the bat, there's a bit going on. First of all, we have this wind synthesizer, definitely inspired by Shine Crazy Diamond parts 6 to 9 by Pink Floyd, but it's adding so much to the atmosphere of the song. Let's hear the song with it, without it. Huge difference. Let's talk about that bass real quick, because we have this bass, it's an octave up, and it has a phaser effect. So it's starting out of time, and then it's phasing itself in time. Let's hear the bass and then the guitar. It's starting fast and it's getting itself on time. We could have just played the normal power chords and it just would have been. But specifically being in a low register of the guitar, the first 3 strings, adding that sus2 and the minor chord makes it this muddy. It's quite muddy if I'm being completely honest, but it is something about it. Definitely worth experimenting with. Guitar is very distorted, but is also playing colorful chords. Beat drops. First thing is that our verse guitar is now playing that F sharp 5 chord from before. from Coldplay now that I think about it. And then it has this nice add 6 chord. And that is playing over the E and the A flat, making it an E sus2 and a A flat minor progression. Let's listen to the bass and drums and see what's happening in the rhythm section. This big beat drop with the drums. Notice how the bass is muting on the snare. That's a super simple way to create groove in a bass line. I always tell my friends that play bass this, I'm like, dude, just mute on the snare and you instantly have this groove, especially in a live setting. It's absolutely great. The bass is following the kick drum, or the kick drum is following the bass. It's probably written at the exact same time, to be honest. Let's hear those guitars, because they're just so wide. So distorted, so crunchy. Still so huge though. I love this tone. I love this tone so much. And then we're gonna jump right into verse 1 now.
Push back and forth, you pull away, it all fades.
The guitar go right there.
I grabbed you, we begged you to stay, please don't leave.
Something that is very important when you're writing your song is the listener needs to know exactly where in the song they are. They need to know, okay, this is the verse, this is the chorus, and I'm also in the bridge of the song. They don't want to be lost. There's 2 ways we can really do this. The first one is, of course, to introduce vocals into the song.
Push back and
We just showered him with reverb, man. We wanted so much reverb, just because that's really creating the atmosphere of the song. It's like he's in an echo chamber with his girl chasing the far side. And another way we can do it is we can change the drums. The drums should have a distinct part for every section of the song, really. For example, we're on the ride cymbal in the intro, and then when Gio comes in with the vocals, we're gonna move to the hi-hat. Close hi-hat. This lets the listener know that they're in a new section of the song subconsciously. The bass changes a little bit, still muting on the snare, but the rhythm is slightly different. And now we introduce fifths just to add a little more color and fun to the bass. Most bass lines are literally just the first, fifth, and the octave. If you stay on those 2 notes, it's very, very hard to go wrong. I want to talk about the way tension is built in this verse. Specifically with the drums, we're on this close hi-hat, and then as the song builds towards the chorus, we start to open up the hi-hat. And it's the snare drum actually that's resolving the tension of the beat. We have 4 beats in the songs and 4/4. So the snare drum is what's resolving the tension being created from the first and second beat. You go boots, cats, and that snare is what's resolving the tension. So theoretically, if we removed the snare in one of these measures, there would be some tension. Something's not resolving, something's not right. It's exactly what we do right before we enter the chorus. Open a hi-hat, it's getting heavier, remove the snare. There's a snare, and then we move into the chorus. But also, we're ending on this A flat minor chord. And we're playing this chord several times while there's tension being built with the lack of the snare. And then we're actually moving from this chord, the verse to the chorus, we're gonna stay on this A flat, but we're not gonna have it be a minor chord. We're actually gonna have a sus2 chord. And we're also gonna play the higher strings. And it's almost as if the song just opens up, but let's listen to that. Here's our minor chords. Sus2. The song is utilizing a push rhythm, which means instead of changing chords on the first beat, we're often going to be changing on the fourth beat because this is a song in halftime. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's creating an extra beat where we're on this E sus2. Also this B sus2. That push is simply, it pulls the listener in. They don't expect that, and it feels good when you makes you go But the drums also change, signifying to the listener that this is the chorus. It's not really a question of, is this the chorus? Gio's vocals are soaring. The drums are now doing some open hi-hats and some crashes. And then we decided we were gonna have a little guitar interlude after this first verse. It reminds me of Time. It's a very strange place to have a guitar interlude. It's actually gonna be a solo. David Gilmour just barely edged us out. On who had the better guitar solo, but Justin, he did a pretty good job. We're gonna move back to the verse progression for the solo. And Justin is gonna lead us in with this fill. Let's hear that actually, in solo. I feel like a rapper doing that. But then, he's gonna lead us in right here, and let's hear this. Back to the first progression. I think this solo does it all. Justin perfectly goes between bends and long sustained melodic notes and faster notes. And there's this motif in the solo that goes. This motifs and guitar solos are perfect because when they're done correctly, which I think is done in the song, because there's 2 guitar solos in the song, we're gonna hear in the second solo a callback to that first solo. And that brings us into verse 2. Same progression. Guitar solo fades out, higher guitar. Open that hi-hat, hold the tension, release it. So there's this little moment earlier in the song with the guitar where Justin goes, little guitar fill. We bring it back here, but this time we decided to change it up just so like you want to add these little sprinkles, of like, oh, that was a cool moment in your songs. I think this is one of them. Everyone else cuts out, then the drums just bring us back in. It's just fun. This makes it like, ooh, that was cool, bro. This chorus is different. I noticed that Gio likes to change the lyrics from one chorus to another, which is strange and not common really at all, I think, at least in this genre of music and most popular music. And the reason I like it is because you can add more emotional depth to your song. You can say more. You don't have to lock yourself into, okay, the chorus is going to be these exact lyrics. If you have the melody the same, the listener is going to know they're in the chorus, and it's just more stuff you can pour out of your heart. This chorus feels bigger, and it is bigger. And it's bigger because we added some more percussion. We added a offbeat little tambourine or something. Let's hear it. It's small, but it's playing that offbeat. It's filling the space between the crashes, and it's adding a lot to the song compared to the first chorus. But also, Gio now is gonna have some harmonies under his vocals, and he's using this in a call and response format. The first thing he sings is Him Alone. The second thing he sings is the response to that first thing, and he has a harmony underneath it. Let's hear that. So the call,
chasing the far side,
the vocals, of course.
the far
Alone.
side.
Call and response is a perfect way to just make a song feel good and feel like it's actually structured. Let's see what happens after this second chorus. Because now, this is the part of the song where I feel like the listener is in it. They know the verse progression, they know the chorus progression. Something needs to change, really. And we do that with a bridge. I absolutely love bridges. Bridges are what makes a song. A good bridge brings a song from maybe like a 7 to a 10 in my opinion. And let's hear exactly what bridge we're hearing in front of us. It starts on this fun little, it's basically a little breakdown. And it goes like this. It starts on that. That's the call. That's the response. And then their call response. Our drums are just going boom, 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 4 on the floor. It's impossible to go wrong with 4 on the floor in your bridge. It just works. If you're lost, you don't know where to start, play 4 on the floor and watch it develop. And develop it, we do. We were just playing that low string first. After that, we're going to introduce this octave guitar playing the same thing. We're going to have some toms on the drums, Gio's going to start singing, the bass comes in, let's actually hear it. Into that snare roll, tension super high, bring it down. We love to build tension up to like a 9, bring it down to a 1, which we do by having everything cut out except the... Then we bring it to a 10 by introducing the drums into the groove. We come back in the song, I use this ridiculous bass slide. Fellas, just slide on the 4th beat of the bar. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's if you're on guitar or bass. Using that slide on the 4th beat of the bar, it works every single time, and the drums bring us back in. And actually when I was asking my producer, I was like, can we turn that slide up? He was like, oh, it's too loud. I was like, I want that slide so loud it's obnoxious. Slightly obnoxious we did get. It's easy to come back in with drums. You just do a little drum fill. Guitars and bass, slide on the 4th. And let's hear what happens after this. Simple change. Drums are now in their groove, and the guitar is playing the full power chord instead of the octave. So before it was, now we have the 5th. And let's hear that. It's heavy and it's fun, and that was a perfect way. We started with the guitar and incomplete drums, then we add the bass, and we complete the drums a little bit, we add another octave to the guitar, then we pull it back, we bring it back up, and now everyone is doing their thing. I call this full band. This is a full band moment. No one is holding back in this part of the song, and I want to hear that bass tone specifically because it's just so nasty. This tone, by the way, which I didn't talk about. I was a bass player first. Before I started playing guitar and drums, I picked bass because we needed a bassist, and I didn't even know what bass was, but once I did learn, I fell in love with it. And it's annoying when you have to stretch your ear to hear a bass line. Not in JaggN songs, no. I picked a very distorted, but also it still has the low end. We do that by splitting the frequency. We get the low end, then we can add distortion on the other part of the frequency. And let's just hear this tone. Here's your slide. It's nasty. And then the kick drum is following the bass. It's following it a good amount. It's not following it note for note, which is fine. And then let's hear this third chorus, which I've been waiting because this chorus is just phenomenal. Let's hear it. I'll shut my mouth. I'll play along poorly. Lyrics change a little bit here again, just Gio having fun with it, but like no one held back in this part of the song. Immediately when Gio comes in, he just hitting that snare like an animal. Hear that? It's so hard. It's the perfect tone. That's the tone you want when you're playing drums. I go to these live shows and these drummers are just barely hitting their snare. I'm like, no, bro, hit that thing, dude. Sometimes I'll mouth them. I'll be like, yo, hit the drums. Like, I'm not even lying. I'm sorry. But Justin, he just does not hold back. Like, and we use some more calm response. Let's hear the vocals and the guitar because they're working together. When Gio is singing at the start, Justin is quiet. When he stops or he's about to stop, Justin comes in. When Justin stops, Gio comes back. And then they work together and then they start singing together. Let's hear this. Gio. Justin's solo. Call and response. Stop. Justin. And watch how they sing together. Gio hits this F sharp. That's a beautiful harmony right there. There's no sour notes being played on the guitar or by Gio at all. And now we're gonna jump into the nerd stuff. Let's talk about the music theory, far side, and the harmonies, and what exactly is going on. And I can put this down because I am a better pianist than guitarist. And dang, does that feel good. So Gio is starting to sing this first chord. It's a very sad chord. He's singing the flat 7. It's A flat sus2, which is not as heartbreaking as if we had the third. We have that tritone right there. It's beautiful. And then we go. We move to this F sharp sus2 chord. And we're singing the flat 7 again, but then we move to the 6th. There we go, that's our root. Major 7. Hearing that major 7, after all of these flat 7s, it's gorgeous, because this is not as that flat 7. Then we move back up. Side, which is our 6th side, flat 7. There's our tonic on this F sharp chord. We stay on this F sharp to play the 5th of this B sus2 chord. And repeat that. Look back, we're crossing a landslide. So, it still is a sus2 until Justin finishes the harmony and adds the 3rd. We have our first major chord, 3.5, maybe 4 minutes into the song, and because it has taken so long to get us to a freaking major chord, it's that much more powerful. I especially love the way that, let's hear that again, just the guitar and the vocals. Perfect, perfect, perfect! None of this was intentional, by the way. This was all by the ear. I didn't figure out the music theory and be like, okay, let's have a 7th here, a flat 7. No. And then we move on to the second part, or almost a post-chorus, or just furthering the guitar solo. We move back to this verse chord progression, E sus2 into our A flat minor. Haunting! So beautiful. Let's hear what's going on after we have that final resolution. Justin's having a blast on the guitar. We hear that motif again, the na-na-na-na, that callback from earlier, and when you hear that, you're like, oh, that's awesome. But let's see what's going on. So we have this E sus2 chord, and Gio's going, and that is our 6th. That's C sharp. Then we change chords, and he's singing the minor 3rd, B, and an A flat minor chord. There's again. One more time. And then what we do is we're actually going to change something. So we call this a tail end. Do something 3 times, you change on the 4th. You hear this in drums a lot. Drum fill usually is on the 4th phrase of the progression. So instead of going, also so simple, right? It's literally just ascending line. So how do we change that? Let's reverse it. We go. Beautiful of a chord. Now this is the 3rd and an E major chord. We have our 2nd major chord of this song. Let's go. And this is no longer a sus2 chord. It is now an add9. Move to the tritone. Tritone. Resolve. Minor 3rd. Let's hear that again. Perfect resolution. It's incredible how these things just end up working. If you just use your ear, you can kind of get out of your own head. My advice to you songwriters is get out of your head. I love music theory. I could study this stuff all day, but sometimes you just kind of write from your heart and your ears and kind of forget about this. It's a tool, but sometimes rules are made to be broken. And then the song is gonna just climax. It's gonna ejaculate everywhere, and we have this moment where everyone's just on the psh, psh. You should hear this real quick. Resolve. Just as having fun as guitar solo, now we're on the crash cymbal, just riding it. Still accenting where we need to accent. And in the studio version, we have a fade out here, and I have a fade out on the stems. But I'm actually not able to fade it out. But the song ends right about there. And that is Far Side, and I think it deserves a spot in all of your playlists. I'm incredibly proud of the song, and of course the other guys that wrote it, Justin and Gio. Y'all are awesome. We're onto something great if you are happening to watch this. Looking back, some things that I would change on this song is very minor things, because I really do love this song. I'll have more distortion guitar in the intro, and then I would lower the other guitars in the guitar solos and in the verse, because sometimes you have to stretch your ear to hear the solo, and I think that the solo should really be the loudest voice in the mix. And it is definitely the loudest mix, but it still is a little bit of a stretch at times. Other than that, I wouldn't change much about the song, if anything at all. I think we did a fantastic job. I love it. Again, I think it deserves a spot in all of your playlists. You might not agree, but if you are watching this late in the video, thank you. I had a lot of fun doing this. I always loved this song, but diving into the theory behind it and really analyzing it again, it made me fall in love with it even more. So this song is a song I genuinely listen to at least once a week. It's like, I would never make a song. I don't want to ever make music that I wouldn't myself. But I think it should be a little goal for you. Make music that you yourself would listen to, and then you can't go wrong. At least you're enjoying it, you know? If anything, you just discovered a new band. It just happens to be yourself. So, I'm gonna be doing this for all of our new music, except the old metal ones, because that's no longer our sound. Our Instagram's in the bio, Spotify, Apple Music, find us everywhere. And, stream JaggN forever. And have a great rest of your day.